Yeah. I saw this, read the article, then I thought we should discuss it. Because fuckboys like this idiots. I have no words for how stupid idiots like this are. But I guess we'll soon see. The main reason I chose to read this article rather than one of the other ones that you'll find online is basically the headline alone. Because the headline kind of sold me to read the entire article, and well, it worked. Angry virgin threatened to kill, quote, as many girls as I see near Women's March. Yeah. The angry virgin part kind of just pulled me in. I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. And, well, spoiler alert, he's an incel. What do you expect? Christopher Cleary was arrested for writing he wanted to be the next, quote, mass shooter and kill women who, quote, turned me down. Cops worried he was targeting an anti-Trump demonstration. Well, you basically got most of it right there. So, let's see what his excuse is. No, just look at that face. Ooh, just a smackable face. A Colorado man who raged online about his virginity threatened to kill, quote, as many girls as I see, unquote, leading police to fear he was targeting a nearby Women's March event. Because, yes, of course, for some reason, you are owed sex. Newsflash, jackass, no you're not. Women don't owe you anything. Or men, for that matter. Let's be honest. But I'm assuming he wanted the ladies, and he didn't get them, so, yeah. Christopher Cleary, 27, was arrested Saturday after writing a long Facebook diatribe about being a virgin and wanting to become, quote, the next mass shooter. Cleary told police he was just venting, but he was already on probation from a 2018 conviction for stalking and making a repeated communication of domestic violence. And a series of murderous young men who call themselves incels, involuntarily celibate, have recently used singledom as an excuse for deadly attacks on women. Trust me, as someone who's been single for a lot of his life, I'm not now, don't get me wrong, but it sucks. For those of you that don't have experience with being single, or a lot of it, I should say, it sucks. But it's no excuse to go out and hurt, attack, or kill someone just because you're bitter because you're single and don't want to be. Because you are a weak, cowardly, pathetic excuse of a human being that you want to do stuff like that. Cleary traveled to Provo, Utah and checked into an Airbnb on January 18th, the day before the city's planned Women's March, according to Denver's ABC7. Late that night, his Facebook friends started calling police to report a series of threatening posts he allegedly authored. Quote, all I wanted was a girlfriend, not 1,000, not a bunch of hoes, Cleary allegedly wrote. Quote, I've never had a girlfriend before and I'm still a virgin. This is why I'm planning on shooting up a public place soon and being the next mass shooter. Because I'm ready to die and all the girls that turn me down is going to make it right by killing as many girls as I see. Okay, he clearly failed English for one. For two, fuck him. Oh, you're 27 and a virgin. Big deal. That still doesn't give you the right to threaten to kill people because you're bitter and pathetic and lonely. Get over it. Read comic books. Play video games. Okay, yeah, I'm not meaning to feed into stereotypes, but let's be honest. And I say that not judging because I play video games, I read comic books. Fuck you, Judgy McJudgersons. But people like this, he's not even a man. He's not even a boy. This thing. This pathetic excuse for a human being. He's the reason a lot of men get labeled violent or whatever. He's a pathetic excuse for a human being. I'm just glad he didn't do anything, because if he had, whoo baby, would have been bad. I would have said a lot worse things. He allegedly added that, quote, "There's nothing more dangerous than a man ready to die." Okay, yeah, I'll admit, he might not be wrong. But, yeah. Still. The phrase, the inclusion of the word man in that statement does not apply to him because, like I said, he's not a man. He's not a boy. He's barely a human being. Police traced his phone and arrested him the morning of the march at a Provo McDonald's. Cleary told police that he had an impulse disorder and that he had been upset when he authored the posts. Like I said, excuse. Because, yeah, impulse disorder, fuck you, you spineless little bitch boy. But it wasn't his first or even second scrape with the law. At the time of his arrest Saturday, he was less than a year into a 3-year probation for felony stalking, according to court records reviewed by the Daily Beast. He pleaded guilty to a similar felony charge in 2016. In a case stemming from a 2015 arrest, he was charged with posting a private image for harassment, posting a private image for monetary gain, harassment by striking or kicking a person, and harassment by repeated phone calls. He pleaded guilty to the final charge and the former were dismissed. He pleaded guilty to making threats and causing disturbances via phone in 2013 and assault in 2009. He sounds just like a winner. Ladies, this is the guy you want to take home to mom. Had he carried out an attack, Cleary would have been the latest in a series of men to murder women for refusing to date him. In 2014, 22-year-old Elliot Roger opened fire on students at UC Santa Barbara. Roger was highly active in a misogynistic internet community of young men who felt jilted by women. Incels. And now, don't get me wrong. You know, incel short for involuntarily celibate. I'm sure not all men who are involuntarily celibate are misogynistic assholes like these guys. But the branding for your group, I'm just saying. In YouTube videos and manifestos, Roger described murdering women as retribution for their lack of interest in him. He murdered 6 people and injured another 14 before shooting himself to death. Couldn't you have just said before killing himself? It's a lot simpler. But I've never understood what this whole thing is where guys just randomly decide that women owe them sex. Don't get me wrong. In high school, I wasn't Mr. Popular. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't. But I never once felt that a woman owed me anything except respect as a human being. Not as an individual, but just as a human being. If she liked me as a friend, respected me, fine, great, that's whatever. But just respect me enough as a human being to treat me with common decency, that's all I expected. That's it. I damn sure didn't expect women to give me sex. I didn't for 1 second believe they owed it to me, because it wasn't. It's never owed. So scumbags like this, fuck them. You know what I mean. Since the massacre, men who share Roger's hatred of women and sense of rejection have coalesced into a more defined internet movement. The group call themselves Incels and promotes violent misogyny. Cleary wrote in language similar to that of Incel forums, although his belonging to that group is subject to debate. Just fucking ask. How hard is that? Just ask. Hey, are you one of these guys? No? Okay. Just thought we'd ask. That sort of thing. The term incel originated with a liberal blogger who wrote about normalizing virginity, particularly for people who were isolated from the dating world for reasons of disability or sexual orientation. Does the fact the blogger's liberal really... does it really matter? Cleary fit those broad terms of a person who wished to have sex but remained a virgin. That's basically every teenage boy. Period. But the modern incel culture has morphed into a more explicit ideology of male supremacy, which does not apply to every adult virgin. It's an opt-in culture, one that shares Cleary's apparent rage at virginity, although he is not reported to have shared content from incel sites. That may be the case, but I think it's kind of obvious he is involuntarily celibate. And I think he's going to stay that way. Well, unless he goes to prison, and then he meets a guy named Bubba, and Bubba's bigger than him. Yeah, I don't think he's going to want that, but he'll get what he gets. Try as they may to blame their woes on women, forum goers brutally criticize each other's appearances, convincing each other that they'll never find a date. They're trying to stamp down the quote-unquote competition. Trying to find out who can be King Incel. Sorry, but this is... They're hysterical because they are so stupid. I don't care if they're virgins or not. I mean, in a way, I feel bad for them because, well, I mean, guys, let's be honest. Let's just be honest. But the fact that they think they're owed anything is it's ridiculous. I feel bad for every woman they've ever met or ever will meet. In a survey of 300 users on a major incel forum, more than half of respondents said they considered plastic surgery. Loneliness, only 36.7% of respondents said they had friends. And general hatred of humanity, 52.9% of respondents self-identified as misanthropes, are standard. I can understand both. Growing up, I had friends, but not a lot of friends. And general hatred of humanity. Yeah, I kind of had that. Especially lately, but let's be honest. More than half of respondents were white, and almost all of them were under 30 years old. And I'll bet you none of them were as good looking as me. And trust me, for those of you watching this that have actually know this face, you'll know that's not a high bar. Other killers appear to have traveled in those digital circles. A man accused of killing 10 people and injuring 16 more in a 2018 van attack in Toronto allegedly glorified Rogers on Facebook. I think that Roger, not with an S, but anyway. Another man accused of killing 2 women in a Florida yoga studio in November uploaded videos calling women whores and promoting Roger. Yeah. And so help me God, if I go and look and that video is still up, I am going to be so pissed off. I mean, I doubt it is. But then again, this is YouTube we're talking about. He says while being on YouTube. Yeah. We all know they're not the most, neutral of entities. But seeing as it's attacking women, probably gone just like that. But who knows? Leary's apparent absence from incel forums hasn't stopped them from glamorizing his alleged murder plot or talking about recruiting him. Duh. Because, oh, they gotta have a mascot, poster boy, woohoo! I hope someone tells him about this site one incel forum user wrote. Oh, buddy, he probably already knows about it. There's a thing called being a lurker. That's when you go to a site, look at it, read it, all that, and don't participate. Very possible he was a lurker. Just saying. Because, I mean, he had the language and all that. So, yeah. Angry virgin. That's a lot of virgins. But that doesn't give any of them the right to attempt to harm anybody else because you're bitter because you're a virgin. Basically, every incel that has glorified this guy. Okay. Basically, every incel that's glorified this guy, or anyone that's glorified this guy, needs one of these. Yeah, you see my point now. Yeah. A few good ones, maybe they'll straighten up. But until then, we'll see. And if you're still watching at this point, do me a favor. Jump over to Twitch and check out my channel. Maybe follow, that sort of thing, because it'd really help me out, help grow my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Have a good day.